2, 3, 4. The hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you get trapped in a headlock and you're worried about smearing your lip gloss. You shoot her off and take the shoulder block. Do the leapfrog, give her the hip toss. Oh, on the hardest part of the ring. Hey, the hardest part of the ring. One more. Sometimes you reach out for that hot tag and you go ahead and make your own comeback. Why do you do that? That's when you should quit wrestling and you're better off rolling a dumb text. The hardest part of the ring. Hey, the hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. Clap, 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 clap. The hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Whoa, yay. What is going on, Bob Squad? Are we ready to rock and roll, daddy? Another part of the hardest part of the ring, which is the ring apron, if you didn't know. That's the hardest part of the ring. Well, that settles that. What are we talking about this week, Bob Squad? I forget. Oh, yes, the Hulu edition. Hulu edition, not limited enough commercial interruptions at WWE Raw for Monday, September 19th of 2022. And I'm going to have some water. Hold on, I want to stay hydrated. That is good water. I'm going to have a little more. Hang on a second, guys. Good stuff. Good stuff. But just a reminder, if you're feeling thirsty, water is good. But you know what's even better than water? Never mind, I'll just tell you, it goes faster that way. What's even better than water is the cool, refreshing, zesty, original taste of Dr. Pepper Cream Soda Zero. Okay? Dr. Pepper Cream Soda Zero has the same great, regular, refreshing taste of Dr. Pepper Cream Soda flavored, but with none of the sugar and none of the calories, but the same great taste as Dr. Pepper Vanilla Cream Soda. Is it vanilla or is it cream soda? Uh-oh, now you might buy the wrong crap. Anyway, go to PepsiCo.com/Dr. Pepper /vanilla. Enter the promo code. Never mind. Let's rewind that. Go to It's not even Pepsi, is it? It's Coca-Cola? How far off am I? What's wrong with me? Why does everything smell like toast? I can taste pennies. No. Go to Coca-Cola.com /Dr. Pepper /0 /vanilla. Enter the promo code BobSquad. Nothing happens. But something's going to happen right here. We're going to talk about the Hulu edition. Not enough commercial interruption WWE Monday Night Raw for this past Monday. Let me get my notes, Bob Squad. Let me get my notes. Okay. So this was interesting. They opened the show, believe it or not, with Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant. Who knew? From 1987. Then John Cena's calm and soothing voice gives us a then, now, forever thing, and they play this terrible song to show us all the superstars. And isn't that nice? We just opened a show with a match. See, this is what it was interesting. Sometimes they do stick to the old long promo up top. Like last week, they just opened with Bayley and Kai and Sky Cold. Not cold, now yeah, cold. Nothing to warm them up anyway. They did that. A couple weeks ago, they started the show with Riddle and Seth in a backstage brawl. And then they picked up. Then they did their long talky segment after that. This week, they just started with a match. They're doing whatever they can with this colossal 3-hour time slot, which is an albatross around their neck and always will be. They're doing whatever they can to just start the show somewhat different. Just keep us guessing a little bit. A lot of stuff can't help but get repetitive. It doesn't mean it's good. I'm just saying they're trying to keep us guessing to the best of their ability. Seth Rollins. Are they going to turn him heel someday? Jesus Christ. He cannot. I know he's a heel right now. Good God. Dude. Talk about milking and egging on the chance and yada, yada, yada. This guy. Are you going to be a heel or not, dude? Because you're not doing any babyface you work with any favors, whether it's Riddle. Did you hear the crickets? There are crickets everywhere. I thought I closed the window. Shit. The crickets are just loud. There's loud crickets. Driving me nuts. What are we talking about? Seth Rollins and Bobby. Anyway, Seth doesn't want to be a heel. I don't know why. So it hurts when it's Lashley or Riddle or Rey Mysterio for the 90th time. Any babyface, Cody at the time, any babyface who wrestles Seth has to deal with this shit. Because Seth's going to egg on that singing the song. And the second, so he's doing that, and he's doing the maestro hand gesture, and he's just leading it and soaking it all in. And the second he hears Bobby Lashley's music, what does he do? He does the classic, oh, now I'm a bad guy because I just did a quick double take and got startled by the babyface's music. Please. You can't just drop on a dime like that. Anyway, they have a wonderful match. Good competitive match. There's a spot that kept being replayed as a short video on Twitter. And I thought this was near the finish because it was so clever, but no one's ever done it before. So simple, but so clever. Seth goes for the curb stomp, and Lashley, of all the counters that have been to the curb stomp, usually someone gets out of the way. Orton did that thing where he stood up in 2015. Two of them did that 7 years ago. And that's cool. But this time Lashley just put on the brakes because he was that strong. And then he turned and he looked to his left, and it was awesome. It was a great moment, and he got a nice little reaction. But that's the problem, he got a nice little reaction. I really think, had that been part of the finish, had they really set it up to look like Seth was going to steal it from him, and right at the curb stomp, Lashley does it at the end of that match, place would have been, it would have been a significantly louder reaction. I think they wasted it by doing it in the beginning. That's my opinion. It was a nice whoa, and then we forgot all about it. Where really, if we set it up like Seth was gonna, screw the pooch on this one and steal it from Lashley for the U.S. Championship, and here we go. Maybe the ref is not necessarily bumped, but knocked it down. Just temporarily, real quick, and then low blow, of course, or whatever the hell. And then go for the stomp, put on the brakes, and blah, 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 and then go into the finish. What was the actual finish? I think Riddle's music played, and he did nothing except look at Seth, and then Seth got... Did he take a spear? He got pinned. He didn't submit. I would have remembered that. I think he just took a spear from Lashley or something like that. Anyway, but it was a good match, though. Moving on. Bayley and Kai and Sky. Then we do the talkie promos. That's what I'm talking about there. Bayley and Kai and Sky come out in a golf cart, and it's funny watching Bayley drive it around, and she circled the ring with it. And they're celebrating last week's victory, the Tag Team Championships. And there's streamers all over the place, and they're in the ring. And Bayley and Dakota and Io Sky each said their piece. Of course, Io can say, she just really says one line, and then it moves along because. But I thought Dakota was pretty good here as well. I really liked. She was coming off as like a prissy bitch, and that someone like she's almost hiding behind Bayley, like you can't touch me, I'm Bayley's girl. So what are you gonna do about it? So I kind of liked it. Bayley herself was Bayley. She was great. They get interrupted by Alexa Bliss and Asuka and Bianca. And they set up a match somehow. So this is interesting. Like the heels, I think it was mainly Bayley and Dakota, of course. They acknowledged that Alexa's been wrestling like she doesn't want to be there. They don't say it in so many words, but they just go, "You're a shell of what you used to be. You don't have any more. You don't know what you are, who you are, what you're supposed to be." They're hinting at something that we've all noticed. Alexa, like I said last week, it looks like she got caught cutting gym class, and now the coach is making her run extra laps, and she's dragging her feet, like being bitchy about it. So there's that vibe. Anyway, this ended up with Alexa hitting Bayley, and it sets up Alexa for Bayley later the night. I didn't know Alexa and Bayley would be the main event, and we'll get there when we get there, the last match. But so it's Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. And I would imagine Bayley would win the thing and go on her way to wrestle Bianca, whatever the next big show is, and we're going to get there. Then there's a break. Austin Theory. He's Austin again. He wrestles Kevin Owens. And they have a nice back and forth match as well. And I think Austin Theory tries to use the briefcase or something at some point. Anyway, Johnny Gargano is there. Good old Gargamel is there. He's chasing those little blue Smurfs. And he can't find him, so Gargamel makes his way to the ring. And he pulls the Money in the Bank briefcase away from Theory. And Theory turns around and takes the pop-up power bomb. 1, 2, 3. Owens over Theory. I'm really not sure where they're going with this. And if Gargano is already beating him, or is already making a fool out of them, then if Gargamel wins the thing, what does Gargamel even really win? Since you just beat a fool, because we just made a complete fool out of him week after week after week. It's not like it's a back and forth who gets the upper hand. So that's 2 matches. I don't know if there's a Hulu match in between this, or a non-Hulu match rather, but that's 2 baby faces getting really significant wins with kind of an. I know you want to give your heels. It's nice that you want to give your heels an out, but also give your faces an out. And everyone gets an out, so no one really wins, no one really loses. I don't really. It's a little goofy for 2 matches in a row, especially for an angry baby face, just to screw over the heel like that. But whatever. I think Riddle and Seth brawled after the Seth Bobby thing. Maybe they did. I forget. They show him backstage brawling later, though, so you need to know that. Anyway, Kevin Owens wins. An Irish guy is backstage, speaking of Riddle, and he says, "I'm Irish," and Riddle says, "You're Irish," and that was the end of their conversation. Then they showed SmackDown. Apparently, Logan Paul. That Logan Paul was going to wrestle Roman Reigns and challenge him for the championship. Paul Heyman has returned. And that match will happen in Saudi Arabia at like the beginning of November, so we're going to have to hear about this for 6 weeks. I don't know, under a new regime, maybe Triple H will do the, he won't do the traditional, let's talk about a show for 6 weeks and base our TV around a show nobody cares about and half our audience doesn't want to see because of political reasons before wrestling even gets involved. So maybe that'll change. The Survivor Series look has definitely changed. It doesn't look like they're doing their traditional thing, brand extension things and whatever. They're doing the War Games because we know Triple H loves War Games. Okay, that has nothing to do with anything. A blonde lady is there. She's talking to Rey Mysterio and she says, "Hey, Rey Mysterio, I'm blonde." He goes, "Yes, you are, blonde lady." But then Mysterio talks about his son Dominic and how he didn't know his son Dominic felt like he was living in the shadow, which is silly. Why would he not feel that way? You're Rey Mysterio. But anyway, again, this is a thing where it was brief, but Rey was just believable and passionate. He doesn't have to use crazy big fancy words and go on for 15 minutes to cut a good promo. He has to make me believe that he believes it. And I believed him. So it was great. And Riddle comes in at the end and says, "That lady's blonde." And then Judgment Day cuts their promos. And there was a lot of long boos. People were booing Dominic. Yikes. They're doing everything they can. They're propping him up. He tries to talk. He's got nothing to say, but that's really not necessarily his fault. But he still doesn't look comfortable on a microphone. He's not talking with his diaphragm. You know those things that stop women from getting pregnant? You gotta talk with them. No, he's not really. He's not speaking up. As a point, like Rhea had to hide it, so Rhea saved his ass and said, "Hey, how about it?" And I'm an Australian. She says, "I'm Australian. How about it?" She doesn't say that part. She goes, "How about maybe a little louder for the people in the back," which was her way of wink wink telling them, "You gotta speak up, we can't fucking hear you." And they couldn't. They were in San Jose, which I think is near Bailey's hometown in the Bay Area. I don't know why I brought that up. But anyway, Judgment Day is there, and Dominic's getting booed. But again, are they booing because Dominic is this heat magnet? The heat of all the heat in the group is on Rhea. They're not booing because Dominic. They're booing because Rhea's the one getting all the heat, and they love Rey Mysterio above anything else. So there's a tag team match. So there's Rey Mysterio and Riddle wrestle Damian Priest and Finn. The bad guys win, of course they do. Rey Mysterio has an outfit with green tights, with white tights over him. It looks like it kind of looks like he wore his tighty whities over his wrestling tights, which is comical. So I forget the finish, honestly. I don't know. But Finn did do the stomp off the top rope to Rey. I just forget how they got there. So Finn pins Rey 1, 2, 3. That was that. The Miz and Ciampa are walking down a hallway. Oh, and then we go backstage, and Seth and Riddle are having that backstage brawl I mentioned. So that's nice. Hopefully, Irish guys or blonde ladies were injured. And Miz, okie dokie. So they replay last week. They did a segment that didn't make Hulu, thankfully. Dexter Lumis hid inside the Miz's house, and when Miz and his wife and kids drove away, Loomis went into Miz's kitchen and drew a picture of himself with Miz and the family. Everything I said is true. They aired this on TV. So Miz does Miz TV, his talking segment. He walks down to the ring. Tommaso Ciampa is there. And this was definitely the sports entertainment, or the gaga portion, as some would say, of this program. First of all, as the heel, everything Miz said was 100% correct. This guy's stalking me. I don't know why. And now he's creeping around my home and sneaking into my house where my wife and kids live. And I'm mad about that. What part of this makes Miz the heel? And his friend Ciampa is backing him up, because that's bullshit. You shouldn't do that to my friend. Don't know why Ciampa's the heel. Why are the heels? Anyway, so this next part made me mad for a completely different reason. You see a knife sticking out of the ring. That's not why I'm mad. Not safe, but whatever. And apparently they had put a little gimmick to hole in a ring, and Dexter Loomis cuts his way out and sticks his head up and stares at the Miz. There's more, but I despise any time there is a gimmicked hole in the ring, or a spot where you're not supposed to bump, or a spot where you're not supposed to land. Anyone who's ever trained at a wrestling school and had the day where that one board is broken, there's a little hole in the ring, and 3 idiots always walk up to it and stomp on it. Look, there are holes in the ring. Like, you're making it much bigger by doing that. And then you have to try to wrestle around it because it's a pain in the ass to fix. Because you don't have the time to fix it. You have X number of hours there, and it's so dangerous. We all know the thing about the trap door and hitting British Bulldogs back in the late 90s and 98 in WCW, etc., etc., etc. Anytime guys have to, so if they had to wrestle all like that before and after, then I'm really mad about it. People get hurt that way. You're going to risk the entire, anyone on a roster, one or multiple people on this roster. And even though it's 3 hours, every one of them there's like 8 wrestlers and they're all in 2 segments. So you don't have that deep of a roster for some reason. So, oh, that's true. I guess I never see the full version anyway, so I always miss a few matches, but whatever. Either way, you're going to risk everyone getting hurt so Dexter Loomis can poke his head out of the floor, and you can replay it for 1.5 seconds next week and never again. In an angle no one cares about. That makes no sense. Where the face is the heel and the heel is the face. Anyway, so Loomis grabs Ciampa, and it looks like they're going to do the spooky Undertaker Kane-ish thing where you pull the guy under the ring and it's spooky, where did they go, even though they're clearly just laying under the ring, cuddling. And Ciampa hits Loomis over the head with, I think, the microphone or something. Anyway, Ciampa doesn't get, because I thought we have to sacrifice something on the way to the guy getting in the Miz if that's where you're going. So I thought for sure Ciampa's going under for that very reason. It's like, well, wouldn't you go through Ciampa to get to Miz? That's clearly what Ciampa's standing there for. But Ciampa actually fights him off and knocks him down, and then the guy... And then Loomis grabs Miz, and I forgot what happened after that. I don't know if he pulled Miz under, or they ran away, both the heels, I actually forget. That's it, I forgot. I was more mad about the hole in the floor, and the intentional hole in the floor. Okay. Now, Rhea and Judgment Day are backstage. She's talking to Dominic, and Rhea refers to herself as Mommy. It's weird. They're the same. They're both 25, by the way, which is funny. So they're trying to sell us that these two are this weird couple where she's dominant, if you will. Finn Balor runs into AJ Styles and still tries to get him to join Judgment Day. And then we get to our main event, LOL, Alexa Bliss versus Bayley. Boy, since Bayley came back, they can't give her a good singles opponent yet. Bianca's going to be the first one. This is a 2-segment match, which to my surprise. And Alexa enters. Bianca and Asuka enter on either side of Alexa, and they look more excited for Alexa's match than Alexa does. Asuka got the duty of holding the Lily doll the entire time, which is really funny. Really, really funny. I guess you can't make your champion hold it. So, well, and Asuka seems to be down for doing whatever, so I really wouldn't worry about it. Anyway, Alexa and Bailey have this match. The other four women are all ringside. Your Bianca Belair, your champion. Asuka holding the doll, and then Team Kyan's guy are on the other side. And Alexa just... You know how many times... Because I guess I'm being extra picky now because I'm really looking for it. You know how many times Alexa looked to the crowd during her match as the babyface? 0. 0 times she looked at them. She just did the moves. She just didn't care or wasn't into it. It was just, good God, you don't want to be there. She wasn't selling so great. I thought Bailey needed somebody. People were talking about, look how annoyed Bailey or Bianca was. Look how annoyed Bianca Belair was with Sonya Deville last week. I saw it more on Bailey's face this week than I did Bianca's last week. Just like, where are you? And I don't know if Alexa's conditioning was really so good to keep going and moving, because Bailey was still moving. Yeah, it seemed like Alexa was never really in a spot where Bailey wanted her, but they do this match. What the hell was the finish? Oh, Bailey wins it, of course. I think there's a little bit of interference back and forth, and Bailey hits her finish and pins Alexa somehow. And then Bianca gets in, and the heels leave Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa laying. Asuka is still clinging to the Lily doll, even though Dakota and Bailey helped Io do this bouncing springboard moonsault onto Asuka. While Asuka was holding Lily, Asuka sold and never let go of the doll, which is really odd looking, but funny to me anyway. And I think... Yeah, Bailey hit her finish on Bianca, and one of Bianca's earrings fell off, and Bailey pretended to put it on. And Bailey, little things. I mean, it's not genius, but it's not Jackie Gleason over there. But at the same time, it's, every little thing so that it doesn't look rehearsed is great. And that's why I like Bailey. So they had to do a replay. Maybe they ended a minute early or whatever. But that's for the best, because that match had to end. And the fact that match was 2 segments, there was a break in between it. Good God. I don't know what Alexa's deal is. Does she want to go act? Because I got news for you. Does anyone really want to see... I'm just going to do this. Does anyone really want to see Mercedes Bernardo act? They want to see Sasha Banks act, and they're curious, but... Any Mercedes Bernardo or Sasha Banks fan, it's the same lady if you don't know, they're watching Mercedes Bernardo because they're Sasha Banks fans. So they're not going to be invested in whatever story you're in. Let's use The Mandalorian because she was in it and they made an action figure. Spend some times on the pegs at my Target. But hey, I don't have an action figure, so I'm not, she wins that round. Maybe I have trouble suspending disbelief, but last end of season 2 of Mandalorian, what I see is Sasha Banks and Bill Burr staring at Luke Skywalker, and it makes no goddamn sense. Nothing makes any sense. That's like putting Dr. Pepper with cream soda and giving it 0 calories and going to Coca-Cola.com/Dr. Pepper /cream soda /0, enter promo code Bob Squad, and nothing happening. That is so hard to do. I wish you would I hope you guys appreciate how hard it is to say that and almost not screw it up. I have to put a silly picture on this thing, don't I? I'll try to find one of Rey Mysterio's tidy whities. If not, I'll find something else that was silly from the show. Okay. I'm gonna sign off. I'm very, very tired. Part 2. Part 2 of Insult and Injury. I'm enjoying the Sunbob shorts. Part 2 should be ready sometime on Thursday in America. Thursday the 22nd. You'll get that as well. Probably around the same time you get this. Within a few hours. So that's cool. It's cool doing the shorts. Because really, when I've done those long Sunbob things, the thing is, like every week or sometimes 2 scenes on a weekend I'd get, so 2 scenes a week, I guess, or 3. I could squeeze in a little one. Sometimes a little dialogue one is really pretty simple, and you could just take pictures and slap it together. But with that said, it's cool getting people to people watching the story little by little. Um, so this way, so because I guess it was getting under my own. I was getting under my own skin. Like, oh man, I gotta wait 6 weeks to talk to these guys about it. Like, it kind of. And if I may say so, I mean, I hate. That's not. This isn't the purpose, but yeah, the numbers are higher. More people are watching them, so it is. That's good. Because then more people are like, hopefully, oh, I got a little bonus G.I. Joe cartoon today. It's either a cartoon you can read a little or a comic book with a little bit of action, however you want to look at it. I got a bonus G.I. Joe episode. I got a bonus new old episode, kind of like the that G.I. Joe Saturday Morning Cartoons comic. I ordered it. I think I just ordered issue 1 off. It was a pre-order on Amazon. It's a popular online retailer. So that's what I've always tried to do with the Sunbobs: give you a new old cartoon. And if an adult word or theme falls in there, here or there, I ain't gonna jam it down your throats, but whatever, you can take it. You can take it just fine. A lot of innuendo there. Thank you, Bob Squad, once again for joining me on episode 187, 188. I'll figure it out. Of the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da.